So you can reach out on these two contact numbers. Those are the active contact numbers as of now for regarding any of the course details, or you can drop an email on this support@logiclabstech.com. Okay, let's get started. So let's go ahead with the recap. Like yesterday, we have discussed about what exactly a database is all about and how it has been evolved, and what is the purpose of the database, and the product that we are discussing is majorly into Oracle SQL and PLSQL. So first we will be discussing about Oracle SQL. Once we are comfortable with SQL, then we will be going with the PLSQL. Okay, so PLSQL will be the advanced version of SQL, where you will be we will be having an option to write our logics, our own logics based on our project requirement. Okay, whichever, like every requirement cannot be satisfied with the help of an SQL. So when you have an capability of doing things with the help of advanced skill, then we can say that we will be having a better future in the IT industry. So for that reason, PLSQL, if you know SQL, then you can survive like most of the IT industries. Every organization will be having will be working with the SQL databases. But if you know PLSQL, then you will be having an add-on skills, I can say. Okay, so that is the reason we will be going through SQL first. Then thereafter we will be learning PLSQL as also. Okay, so let's get started. Like we have as a recap that we have discussed what exactly Oracle SQL is all about, and what exactly the database is all about, and what are the versions as of now. And currently we are in the cloud versions. Cloud version is going on, and it started with the 8th version. Then currently we are in 22 in the cloud versions. Okay, so then we have discussed about other products, like apart from Oracle DB, we have Microsoft SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, and Postgres. There are other products which are similar to Oracle database, and it looks similar. I can say the resemblance, it is just a resemblance of Oracle database. Only thing is that every product has their own naming convention. So hardly I can say 75% is same, but only 20 I can say 25% here or there, the syntax or the naming conventions will be changing from other products to this product. But rest others, you can say that whatever the commands or whatever the skills that you go through with SQL in Oracle will be similar to other products as well. So even if you go through any database, concepts will be same. Only thing is that we have to know what exactly the syntax that needs to be written and what command needs to be used for that particular requirement. Okay, so and also we have seen like why exactly we will be calling it as a SQL nothing but a structured query language, where we will be writing our I think so yesterday we have seen about one of the example, like how exactly it will be helping to make sure that if our data in the database is well structured, how it looks, and if it is not well structured, how it looks, and what is the impact of not having a proper database. If the database is not structured properly, then what happens is that we have to give an additional effort to make sure to achieve our target. Like yesterday we have seen, like while storing of the data in our database, in the table or in the columns, couple of columns, earlier we have seen like in the place of name, I have stored one of the record as a name perfectly, which is I have stored, but the second record for the second employee, we have stored age in the place of name, and name in the place of age. So when I have to get back, if I have to retrieve, if I have to get back the names of all our employees, if I try to fetch data from this particular column, name column, what happens is that first I will be getting name, which is perfectly fine, Manjunath. Instead of Dinesh, I will be getting 28 years. So which is not the correct one, right? So what happens if I store the data in the proper way, in the proper well-structured format, in the form of within a particular table? Let's say I have a customer information. Yesterday we have seen about customer example, I guess. So I have a couple of customers. One is Manjunath, another is Dinesh. So when I store the data of my customers in every column, whichever designated in the designated column, if I try to insert the data, it will be an additional added advantage, or I can reduce the effort of fetching the data. So let's say in future, if I have to fetch my customer related information, directly I can target on the particular column. Okay, instead of targeting on entire data, here I have to target on entire data. If I have to see the customer related information, customer name, I have to target on entire data, right? So my efforts are increasing. So either I have to do it as a developer, I have to do it manually, or else I have to allocate it to someone else, the other person, to make sure that, okay, try to rearrange all the data, try to arrange all the data in the proper format. So I have to give an additional effort, which is not the correct way. So as a developer, we have to make sure that whatever the code that we write, right, it should be as a user friendly. Whatever the code that we write, it should be very minimal. It should reduce the effort. Along with the effort, it should be an easy way to use it for a future purpose. Okay, so if I that is where SQL will be helping. So what we will try to do is that first we will try to, just give me 1 minute, there are a couple of, I'll give an access to them. Okay, so let's say for example I have customer information where I am not storing it properly. Then however, I have to, at the end, I have to allocate some other person to arrange it properly, or else after arranging it properly, again I have to push the proper arranged data into the database. I have to insert back again the same data. So here I'm doing it twice. Instead of, while doing it first time, if I do it properly, then it, I can say that the data which is arranged in the database is a proper structured, well structured, we can say. So that is where we will be calling as an SQL as a structured query language, where the data that we are pushing into the database is in the form of well structured. So how do we push the data into our database? So our Oracle product, what happens is that when we will be using Oracle product, we will be calling this as a relational database. So what exactly the relational database instead of? So when you say about a relational database is nothing but the data that we are storing in the database, into the database. Let's say I need to push customers data into my database. So what we will try to do is that first we will create a table for that. So a proper meaningful name we will be giving. Let's say I'll be saying, as yesterday we have discussed, we will be saying customer information. So this is my customer information, is my table. So within this particular table, I'll be creating couple of columns. Okay, column, the vertical one, as said, the vertical ones are called the columns. Okay, so here what I'll try to do, I will give a proper meaningful name. I have given it, I have used a table. So I have given a name for this particular table. The data, the whatever that I am trying to push into the database, what I will try to do is that instead of pushing it just like that, what I will try to do is that I'll arrange it properly. Whatever the customer related information I need to push, I'll be creating a table. Okay, first I'll create a table. This is called a table. Okay, within the database I'll be creating a table. So after creating a table, within that particular table I'll be creating a columns, like what and all we will be having for customer. So first, let's say for example I have to store a name of customer. So for that, what I'll try to do, customer name. Okay, so after here within this particular column, I'll be storing all the customer related customer names. Okay, let's say even if it is 100,000, 2,000, whatever the customers that we have within our organization, all the customers related details, whatever the customer name, we will be storing within this particular column itself. Okay, now again I'll be giving, let's say for example, age of that particular customer. Then this is also age is another column, and let's say contact number. Contact number, whatever the contact number that we have to use, whatever the customer gives the contact number as, we will be storing all those customer contact numbers within this particular column itself. So as a developer, what my primary thing is that I have to arrange the data. That is where Oracle developers comes into picture, right? So arranging of the data in a well-structured format. So earlier, let's say, for example, if we go back to 90s, when there was not before 90s, let's say during 90s, what we used to do, we used to write we used to have the database in the form of records, right? Every record will be having a couple of papers, sheets of papers, like sheets. Every sheet will be what there used to be a particular person who used to write or record the entire information about the customers, right? Whenever he need, he will be opening that particular record, and he will be he will be opening that particular record, and he will look for entire records of that particular customer names, whatever the data that he had written in that particular record, right? He have to open that particular sheet, and he have to contact them manually. But now what happens when we have come across, when we have evolved from to the digital format, what happens is that everything is getting stored in the database itself. So without database, now no product will be running. So every product will be having their own database. Like it can be of, they will be using multiple, they can use their whatever the database that they are organization is comfortable with. Let's say whatever the database that they are using, the database has went with a digital format. So now whatever the data that we are inserting earlier, whatever the records that we write, right, whatever the contact numbers that we write, enter within a sheet into a record, is now converted into a database, where I will say that this customer information is nothing but a record, I can say. Okay, within a record, what within this particular record, we are entering the data. So how we are entering the data? In a well structured format, we are giving a structure for the data that we are trying to insert into our database. So what we are trying to do, we are giving a prior to, before inserting itself, we are allocating where exactly, in which column, in which in the database, in which column, what kind of data needs to be inserted, right? So here I'll be giving a customer name as a heading, and age as a heading, contact number as a heading, and if we have email ID. Okay, if I give a naming convention, if I give a name like this in my database, let's say if I give a name this in this well structured manner, if I try to push the data, not only now, even after 10 years, 20 years, even if after 30 years, the data from the database, you can fetch the exact data, you can fetch back the exact data, whatever the data that you need can be retrieved back. And let's say, for example, customer, let's say my customer from past 10 years, there is a customer who is he's buying the couple of products or whatever the organization that we are into. Let's say, for example, we are manufacturing one of the product and selling it to customers. So whatever the customer, let's say, for example, before 10 years, one of the customer have bought our product. Now, if we have to reach back to our customer, so directly from this table, from this particular table, I can fetch the customer name. I can search for the customer name in an easy way, just by writing a simple command, and the contact number. I can get his contact number. I can reach back to that particular customer even after 10 years or 20 years, right? If the data is not well structured, then if I have to fetch back my customer after 10 years, then I have to go through the entire data, whatever the data that I have stored in my database, right? I have to read back entire 10 years records. So which is an hectic part. So for that reason, Oracle has come up with a feature called and well structured format of storing of data into the database, which is where we will be storing the data in the form of tables. Within the tables, we will be creating couple of columns. Okay, so within columns, we will be storing the entire data. So for storing the data, we have to write a command. Okay, insert command that we will be writing, which we will be discussing in the coming session. Okay, so for creating table, we will be creating a table. We will be using a create command. For inserting the data, we will be using an insert command. Okay, so that is just like a syntax. I can say syntax is nothing but a formula. So just by using that particular syntax, we will be creating our tables. So whatever the tables that we have to insert, let's say it can be of customer information, it can be of employee information, it can be of product related information, any information. We can go ahead and create a table. We can design our own structure. Within that particular structure, what we can do is that we can insert our records. So after inserting the records, not only by just by inserting the records, we will not be doing anything, right? So we have to use somewhere, somehow we have to, it should help us, right? So after storing, I should have an option of retrieving it. I need to see the data in future, right? So for that, we have an option, we have a command for retrieving. Okay, so let's say, for example, if we want to update it in future, so we have a command for updating. That is also a command that will be given. So we will be discussing about that commands as well. Okay, so everything is called as a relational database. So relational database, RDBMS, we will be calling this. Okay, relational database management system. Okay, Oracle runs under RDBMS, which is nothing but a relational. So how exactly the relation will be helping? So relation is nothing but from one table. Let's say, for example, I have a customer information. Okay, I have created a table. Again, I have a table of again, I have created one of the table uh, for warranty related information. Okay, product information. Okay, or else let's say order information. Okay, I have created a table. Now, how am I going to relate this particular customer information table to the order information table? That is where a relation will be coming into picture. So we will be saying this relation can be created with a primary key and foreign key, where we will be discussing about that. Just with the help of that primary key and foreign key, what we will do is that we will create a relation from one table to other table. So after creating a relation, what I can do is that I can see which customer on, let's say, for example, I have a date. Okay, let's say date. So just by seeing this customer information date and the order date, within this order information also, I will be having a couple of columns. Okay, like order number, and the product information, how much quantity he has bought, and whether the payment has been done or not, and when he has purchased, and whether this product is in warranty or not. All this information I can create a table, and I can, within that particular table, I can create a columns, just these columns, whatever we discussed, right? Like this, we will be creating a columns, and we will create a relation between customer table to order table. Now, if I give a customer name, I can go ahead and fetch entire order information of that particular customer. So from how long he has been with our organization, and how many orders that he placed, and what all the products that he purchased, what is the warranty of that particular, and all this can be retrieved with the help of relational database. Okay, so this can be achieved in the Oracle. So in the database, this is very simple thing, very normal thing that you can say. When you are comfortable in creating a tables and creating columns and then pushing of the data into the tables, inserting the data into the tables, then you will feel comfortable when you try to create a relation from one table to other table. Okay, all this we will be discussing in future in the further sessions. Okay, so this is about the major, on the high level. We are not discussing in detail, we are not getting in deep. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys are comfortable, so that everyone will be comfortable about what exactly the product that we will be discussing about. and how this will be helping us in future. Okay, so this is what I just want. My primary aim is that whenever any student comes into picture, so if that student needs to have a clear idea, like how this, what is the product, what is the technology that we will be going into, and how this technology will be helping us in future. Okay, I just want to give a clear example, or I just want to give a clear information about what the technology is all about and how this will be helping in future as a developer. So we will be going as a developers itself, Oracle developers that we will be saying. So Oracle developers are the most high demand, I can say, because every when you go across with any organization, without the database there is no project. Okay, even if you say if we go with advanced skills, like currently we have machine learning, data science, data analyst. Even if we are talking about that, without the database there is no machine learning, there is no data science, or there is no data analyst. Okay, so everything that you come across, whatever the future technologies that you go ahead, or whatever the technologies that we come across, so if they are using Oracle database, then we will be on the high demand part. Okay, so this is about the basics on the high level, what exactly the technology that we will be learning on the SQL part. Okay, and so we have seen like what is the use of inserting the data into the database, and we have seen like what is the use of updating. Let's say for example, I want to update contact numbers of our customers. I can use a simple syntax for this, and I can update the data. Okay, we will be seeing. And let's say for example, I want to remove the data. Let's say for example, one of my customer have completed with the warranty of 1 year, so I want to remove them from, I want to delete them from the warranty table. Okay, as we said, like we will be creating a table, right? Within the table we will be inserting the data. So now I have inserted from warranty table, I have from the warranty table I want to remove one of the customer because he have completed with 1 year of time period. Now he is not in the free warranty or free service period. Now I want to remove him, or else I want to make him an inactive from that particular warranty period. So for that I can use a delete command, which is a straightforward command. So if you observe these commands, like say insert, will be inserting will for inserting we'll be using an insert command, which is a straightforward command. If we will be, the name will be catchy, we can remember it for a long time, right? If you want to do some, if you want to push the data into the database, we'll be using an insert command. If you want to update something, if you want to do some updations within that, then we will be using an update command, which is a straightforward command. We can remember it for longer time. Let's say for example, if you want to delete it, if you want to delete any data from the database, you will be using a delete command. So if you see, all these commands are catchy words where we will be using on our real time, whenever we want to whenever we are discussing with each other, we will be using all these words as a catchy words itself. Like these are common words that we will be discussing, and the same wordings has been given in the database, so that you will be remembering it for longer time, just to remember the particular where exactly you want to use that particular command needs to be remembered. That's it. Okay, so this is very simple. Oracle database is very simple. That is, it is not an that difficult technology, I can say. If you get an experience of 1 year, then you will be I can say that you will be the most experienced person. Okay, you will be having that demand, I can say. Okay, so then let's say for example, let's say you want to write any command in the database. Let's say first we have to connect to the database, then we have to know the syntax. So once after knowing the syntax, we will be running the particular syntax, and we can either we can go ahead and store the data, we can update the data, we can delete the data. All these can be done with the help of an SQL. Okay, so these are the primary things. This coming to this slide, uh, if you see this slide, I want everyone to take a if can everyone take a pic of this particular slide. So this will be helping, like I can say that if you want to get comfortable with SQL, when you know the commands of these particular things and the naming conventions of that particular where what exactly the language is that we will be coming across, the commands that will be coming across will be helping. So I'll be explaining about this slide once again. I want everyone to take a pic of this. I'll give a time. Please take a pic of this. I'll say how this will be helping in future. Okay. I hope everyone have taken a pic of this. Okay. Let's say now we have discussed about creating a table or inserting the data into the table or retrieving the data once after inserting data. I want to save something. So I have to use a couple of commands, right? I was speaking about a couple of commands. So these are the commands that we will be using in the real time. Any project that you go, any requirement that you come across within this particular slide itself, I can say we have 50% of the SQL commands are within this particular slide itself. So that is the reason I have asked you to take a pic of this. So whenever in future, if you want to know something, or if you want to know any command, if you want to remember any command for based on the requirement, just open this particular slide, then you will remember it. I will explain. Once we get started within this particular Oracle technology, then I will make sure we will make sure that we will get to know about every command that I have listed over here. Okay. So on the high level, let me explain you. Let's say in SQL itself, we have subdivisions. Let's say for every command that we write, right? Every command is subdivided into multiple 5 different languages. Okay. So don't don't distract from here. There is nothing different. There is nothing difficult about it. So let's say as per their nature, as per the nature of the command that we are doing, right? Whatever the command that we are using, as per their nature, it is divided into multiple, like 5 different languages, I can say. Okay. So whenever you want to create a table, whenever you want to create a table, I will be using a create command. Okay. So this create command is called as a data definition language. Let's say, for example, let's say I am in the project. Okay. As a developer, I have come into a project. Now, my senior manager will be saying that use a DDL command for one of the table. This is the table name. Use a DDL command. That's what he says. So when he says about DDL command, I want to recollect the information. So DDL is nothing but data definition language. So now he's asking me to create a table, right? Use the table for one of the for storing the data. Then he's saying that DDL command comes under data definition language. So when he's saying about data definition language, that means that I can go ahead and use a command called create. So with the help of this create command, I can go ahead and create a table, whatever the table that he is saying. And based on the columns, I can go ahead and use the syntax and create a table. Let's say this is what on the high level I can say. Now, let's say, for example, I want to update something in my database. Now I don't know how to update it. Let's say, for example, I don't have any idea how to as a fresher. Let's say, for example, I am at the 0 level. I don't have any idea, but I do have a basic idea about Oracle product SQL commands. I do have. Then when he says that use a DML command, and push the data, entire data, whatever that it is given in the Excel sheet, try to push the data into the table, into this particular table. It's a customer information table. Use a DML command. Now, by looking at this slide, I will get to know, okay, DML is nothing but data manipulation language. Now, for pushing the data from Excel into my table, I will be using an insert command. Okay. So he informed me that he has given me a hint that saying that go ahead and use a DML command. DML command, within the DML command, to push the data, we have an insert command. Okay. These are just commands that I can say, but based on their nature, it is divided into multiple languages. Okay. Let's say after pushing the data, if I have to retrieve the data, that is nothing but data retrieval language. Okay. If I have to retrieve the data from the database, just by inserting the data, there is no use, right? Somehow I have to use it. Let's say, for example, in future, I want to fetch all the information of my customers, order information of my customers. Sorry, guys. So for that, I will be using a select command. Okay. So by using a select command, I can retrieve the data, whatever the data that I have inserted into my table, I can go ahead and retrieve it. Retrieve is nothing but I can fetch the data. I can bring back the data and I can see it. Okay. For seeing that data, I will be using select command. Okay. So let's say, for example, I have inserted, if you observe carefully over here, see here, it says that auto commit and user commits. If you observe over here, this is an auto commit and this data definition language, all these commands, whatever that we will be using, gets auto committed. Auto commit is nothing but a saving, whatever the data that I do, right, that will get auto saved. So when I create a table, it will automatically save into my database. So when I insert the data, it is a developer's choice whether they want to save the data in the database or not. So that is where it will help, right? So once after I insert the data into my database, as my manager said to insert the data into my database, I have inserted the data. So what I will try to do is that I will recheck once whether the data has been inserted properly or not. Let's say, for example, I want to insert 1,000 records into one particular table. I have used an insert command. I have inserted 1,000 records into my database. Now I have to recheck, right? So I'll be using a count command, count of the particular records, and I will be checking how many records has been inserted. It says that if it says 1,000 records has been inserted, I can directly go ahead. It is my choice as a developer. It is my choice whether I have to go ahead and save it or not. Commit is nothing but a save. Okay. So everything there in this slide itself. Okay. That is the reason I have asked to take a pic of this, which will be helping you in future. Okay. So whenever you are using a DML operation, data manipulation language operation, so whenever you have inserted, updated, deleted, anything that you do in the DML operation, it is developer's choice whether we want to save it or not. So once we will reconfirm, and then if required, what I will try to do is that I will try to commit it. So let's say, for example, I don't want to commit it. What I'll try to do is that I will have an option of rollback. I can use a command for rollback. So if I want to save it, I will use a command called commit. If I want to roll back, I don't want these transactions. Let's say 1,000 records has been inserted. I want to remove all those 1,000 records because there is some issue. Then, so instead of saving, what I'll try to do is that I'll try to roll back. Okay. So now this is about a TCL language. All this commit, rollback, and save point is called as a TCL command, which is nothing but a transactional control language. Okay. Transaction control language, which is called as a TCL commands. So based on their commands, it is divided into 5 different languages. Okay. Which we will be discussing once again. Every command we will be taking time. We will be understanding what exactly the syntax is and how exactly it will be helping us. And based on that, we will be going ahead. Okay. And again, data control language. Let's say, for example, I have created a table. Okay, I have a data control language. Let's say, for example, I have created a table. If I have to give access to only the restricted person needs to see this data. Only the restricted person needs to see the data. So what I will try to do, I will try to use a grant command. Okay. So with the help of data control, I'm giving a grant access to that particular person, so that when he connect to the particular database, within the database, if he is given access to this particular table with the help of grant, he can go ahead and see it. Else he will not be able to see that particular table, or he will not be able to retrieve the data, whatever the data that is there in the table. For security purpose, we will not be giving access. So once access has been given, let's say for example, for 1 month, he can go ahead and see. After a month, I want to remove the access. So for that, I could say revoke the access. We will be using a revoke command for revoking of the access that we have given to that particular person for the particular table. So whatever the data that he will be seeing will be removed, so that he will not be able to see that data. Okay. So these are the commands. So I know that this on within a single slide itself, or within 5-10 minutes, this will be difficult to understand. So on the high level, just try to understand that we have couple of commands. Just try to understand now. There are couple of commands. For based on their nature, it is divided into multiple sections. Okay, so 5 different sections it has been divided into based on their nature of command. Okay, based on their nature of work, it has been divided into multiple commands. Okay, so multiple languages, I can say. Okay, just try to remember this. In going further, in the further session, we will be discussing much more detail about every command. Whatever you see over here, right, every command we will be discussing in the coming sessions in much more detailed way. So we will be discussing about the command, what exactly the command will be doing, and we will be going through the syntax and how the syntax needs to be written, and an example like how do we go ahead and use this particular, with the help of a syntax, how do I go ahead and create, or how do I use as an example in future. Okay, so when you know the syntax, the same syntax can be carry forwarded, like when you go to the interview or when you go to the project, when you sit on the project, you will be following the same command, same syntaxes, and same examples that you can follow. Okay, when you understand the command and syntax, I can say that you are comfortable with Oracle. Okay, you are comfortable with SQL. Then this, so I can say that it is not that difficult and it is very simple, I can say. So you can remember it very easily, because whatever the commands that you see over here, most of the commands are daily used. Whatever the general wordings that we will be using, right, the same commands that has been given in this particular technology. Okay, so so any doubts regarding, so far what we have seen about yesterday, we have seen about database and what is the use of a database and how it has been started, and what is the purpose of the database. And today, that is what we have seen. Yesterday we have not seen much, and today what we have seen on this commands itself. Even if you go to the previous slide, we have discussed only about this particular commands itself. Okay, so we have seen about what exactly the commands will be used, and what is the purpose of every command, and how these are divided into their nature. Okay, nature of work, that is what we have discussed. So on the high level, this is what, and I know that this will be hard to remember, so take a pic of this, and this will be helping it for future as well. Okay, and so we can stop for now. Let's go ahead with a questionnaire, like if you have any questions regarding the SQL. Tomorrow we will go ahead with the PLSQL, and what exactly the PLSQL will be used, and what is the purpose of it, and how it will be used. Okay, on the high level itself, we will not be going much more detail. Okay, in coming sessions we will be going in much more detail of every command, every syntax, every example will be discussed. Okay, and the documents also will be provided. So any doubts, if you want to know anything, or if you are confused on any of the area, please let me know, so that we can go ahead and discuss. It's up to you guys. I hope feel free or be comfortable. Be comfortable. It's just an introduction session. I don't want everyone to be just be in the question minded. Okay, so be comfortable, speak up, or else you can ping on the chat. I hope everyone has the access to chat. The reason why I ask you to speak up is that you will feel comfortable. Okay. When you ask more doubts, I hope you will remember it for a longer time. Okay. So I request, like, you can go ahead and ask whatever the doubts that you have, or else you can ping over the chat. I will respond on that. Everyone awake, right?
Yeah, hello Manjunath.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
So is this course covering developer as well as administration? Is it
So,
like it's only developer?
we will be discussing more over the developer perspective itself. So administration, in sense of, like, we will be discussing only on the installation part. Okay. So
Okay, understood.
installation part we will be discussing, and database is more over like writing the commands itself.
Yes,
So
correct.
admins, what they does is that mostly they will try to install and they will try to maintain the server. Okay. So now the maintenance has been moved out because we are in the form of cloud, right? So the admins are there. I will not say that admins doesn't have any demand. Admins have the demand for every product that they use, right? Admins have the demand, but only thing is that going further, let's say if we talk about 10 years from now, or else let's say 5 years from now,
Okay.
so everything is cloud based. So let's say if I am using a database of Oracle, let's say I'm using a database of Microsoft, so database is getting handled by the Microsoft itself. Okay, they will give a cloud server, from there we will be using. So
Yeah.
from there the Microsoft team itself will be using. So as we will, for that reason we will be going much with the developers perspective itself. So we will be discussing more on my 100%, I can say this is a developer based course. Okay.
Thanks, Manjunath. Understood.
Considering that only that consideration of 5 years from now, so we will
Mm,
be having a demand for developers. For that reason,
developers.
going and targeting most on the developer perspective. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Any
Manjunath,
others?
thanks.
Nice question. That's a good one. Go ahead. Any others, please? Ping over the chat if you are comfortable over the chat. I'm okay with that. So to get the recordings, what we can do is that we can reach out to this particular team, as mentioned, like reach out to this email ID or these two contact numbers. Okay. Any of these three will be helping to get the recordings. They will be guiding you where the recordings are getting uploaded and where the documents are getting uploaded. From there, you can go ahead and view or download the documents. Okay. So the team will be helping to go ahead, and they will be helping you to navigate to that particular portal where we can download or view all the recordings. Okay. Any others? Please take a pic of this. This will be helping you within this particular course. Sorry for that. And I can say that this is sorry guys, this is moving on. Okay, someone were speaking. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of job demand between Oracle and my SQL for Microsoft, which one have you seen the demand is more from your experience?
From my experience, I can say both have the same demand. When you come across, let's say, based on the product that you use, let's say, for example, if the project that I'm working is using Microsoft related product, let's say .NET will be using mostly from, it is from the Microsoft product, right? So they will be using their own database of MySQL. And when you see the Java comes under Oracle. So they will be using most of the Java projects. I can say 90% of the Java projects will be using Oracle database itself. So irrespective of the database, irrespective of the product, I can say database in the SQL and PLSQL looks similar. Okay, 70% as in it looks similar. Okay, only here or there, as they have their own products, they will be giving some, they cannot copy the same one, right? they cannot give the same copy paste kind of thing. So they will be changing the naming conventions, or the command name will be changed. That's it. But rest others will be same. So I can say that both have the same demand. Even if you go through MySQL database, you have the same demand. And if you come across to the Java or a .NET database product, you have the same demand. Okay. So
Okay.
we will
And
be. I hope that has been covered. I hope I have
yeah,
answered.
yes, you have. And at the end of this program, are you going to help us with resume coaching, job support, interview preparation, and all those like?
If we have we will be helping you with the resume preparation. We will be giving you a couple of resumes, okay, and we will be guiding you with every we can say that questionnaires will be given for every command, whatever the concept that we come across, right? For every concept, interview questions will be given, okay, but one-on-one we will not be having that much time. Okay, so for that reason, resumes will be given, sample resumes or guidance regarding the resumes will be given, and we will be guiding with the interview questions. So every concept we will be giving a couple of questions as well, so that will be helping you to get more knowledge. Okay, when you stress more with the questions, you get more knowledge. Okay.
Okay.
And we will be using the basic version, express edition version, to as we are just going through the practice. So we will be going, we have two different versions. One is 19, and we have a version of express edition. Or you can install like when you want to install the high-end version, you will be needing the product will be taking a lot of space. So for that, as a practice, so both express edition practice version and the 19 version with 22 version, I can say 22 version, sorry, 22 version have both have the same features. Only thing is that in the organizations, as we need more security, we will be going with the high-end version. For a practice, we will be going with the low-end version. Okay, both have the same features. There is nothing. Only thing is that the security, I can say that the space utilizations will be very less in the practice version. And if you want to install the high-end version, you can go ahead and install. Okay, even you can opt out, but I recommend, as for the practicing, go with the lighter version. Okay, I hope you it is clear. Or if you want to, if anyone has any doubt, please go ahead. No worries, even if it is a small question, that will help others along with you. So recordings will be given, and documents will be given, and the practice questions will be given. Okay, everything will be documented and it will be given, and sample resumes also will be given to get an idea like what all the concepts needs to be added, and what all the how when what type of concepts needs to be included in the resume for the interview kind of thing, that will be guided. Okay, no worries, you can go with the same version. 11G will be fine. No worries, you can use it for the practice until unless it is an Oracle product. Okay, if you use again a different Teradata on, then there will be a couple of code, or the syntax will be a little different. Okay, so if it is on Oracle, 11G comes under Oracle itself, so no problem, you can go ahead and use it. Anyone, any doubt, please go ahead. As we have another 5 minutes, I want everyone to go ahead, speak up. If I feel I want everyone to feel comfortable, I can say, or else you can ping over the chat. Go ahead, no worries. We have another 5 minutes of time. Else what we can do is that we can, if we don't have any questions, we can wind up, or we can wind up the session, we can drop off. So I cannot compare on multiple databases because every product has their own importance. Okay. So I don't want to compare the other product to this product because every product has their own importance. Okay. So don't try to compare. So when you are, when you want to learn something, just go ahead because that will be helping. So it is nothing to rate between one database to other database. Okay, don't try to compare it because every database has their own importance. Okay, so when you I can say that Oracle database will be much more easy when you are as a learning at the beginner level. Okay, when you are at the beginner level, when you want to learn and if you want to settle as a developer, I can say that Oracle DB is the better option. So Oracle database is very simple. Due to the simplicity, I can say that you will be learning the commands with much more easy way. So when you learn Oracle DB, then other database products is very easy to understand. Okay. So every product has their own importance. Okay. I cannot compare which one is good, which one is bad as kind of thing. So Oracle DB is very simple to understand, easy to learn, and you can be as a expert developer when you come across with the minimum experience when you work on a project. When you get a minimum experience, you can say that you can become. I can say that you will become a experts within a short time. Okay. Anyone, any doubts? Please go ahead. If no doubts, we can wind up the session. Let's catch up tomorrow on the same time. Okay, let's catch up on the same time. So this course will be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day, 1 hour. So 4 weeks will be if needed. Like I hope, like I know that it will not. If I don't want to rush the concepts. Okay, within the 4 weeks by giving a deadline of 4 weeks, I don't want to rush up the concepts. Okay, so we will be taking time. So we can extend beyond 4 weeks as well if needed. So if the topics are not getting covered within 4 weeks, we can extend. Okay. So ideally it is 4 weeks, but we can extend. I will not be rushing up the concepts because as you are at the beginner level, I want you to get comfortable with every command and you are familiar with every concept. Okay. So for that reason, we will be extending time. Okay. We can go ahead. So it will be 8 p.m. from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and it will be a 4 weeks of time. You can take these contact numbers, reach out to this support team. They will definitely help you out with any of the questions regarding the documents or navigation to any of the portal, or if you want to see the recordings, support team, you can drop an email, you can take a you can call on to this number. Okay, I have checked, like yesterday someone was asking that they admin team was not answering. They were busy with regarding the new batch. They were arranging the new batch, so for that reason they were a bit busy. So from tomorrow, like morning 9 to evening 8 o'clock. Okay, evening 8, you can reach out to the support team. They will definitely respond and they will guide you. Okay, I hope no one has doubts, or if you have doubt, please go ahead and ask. Feel free, be comfortable. As these are demo sessions, I want everyone to go ahead and be comfortable, ask the doubts, whatever you need. Else we can wind up the session as we are done with 9 o'clock. We can wind up the session. Let's catch up tomorrow on the same time. Okay, thanks for joining, guys. If you have any doubt, please go ahead and ask.